The British royal family, one of the oldest and most enduring institutions in the world. For over 1,000 years, it has stood as a symbol of tradition, duty, and continuity. It has weathered wars, political upheavals, and the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. Yet, even the most steadfast institutions are not immune to controversy. And today, the monarchy faces one of its most challenging chapters in recent memory. At the center of this storm is Prince Andrew, Duke of York, a figure whose life has been intertwined with duty, privilege, and controversy. His actions have sparked worldwide attention, raising questions about accountability, public trust, and the future of the monarchy itself. This is Regal Revelations, exploring the facts, the history, and the implications of a royal scandal that has captivated the globe. Prince Andrew was born on February 19, 1960, as the second son of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Growing up in the grandeur of Buckingham Palace, his life was one of immense privilege, but also of significant expectation. From an early age, Andrew was educated to serve the monarchy and represent the crown with poise and dignity. The path of a royal is one of duty, ceremonial, charitable, and sometimes political. Each royal child is groomed to uphold the values of the institution, balancing personal desires with public responsibilities. Andrew's upbringing was very traditional. He was expected to carry himself in a manner befitting a prince, and to contribute to the family's public image through service and representation. Andrew's early years were marked by academic challenges, yet he found his calling in the military. In 1979, he joined the Royal Navy, embarking on a career that would define much of his public identity. Visual: Andrew in naval uniform. Footage of Falklands War. During the Falklands War in 1982, Andrew served as a helicopter pilot, undertaking missions that were both dangerous and demanding. His service earned him recognition, and for a time, he was celebrated as a war hero, a prince who had proven his courage in battle. Following his military service, Andrew's life was dominated by public appearances, official duties, and charitable endeavors. He represented the Queen at events around the world, meeting heads of state, attending ceremonies, and championing causes ranging from technology to youth programs. Historian: Andrew was often seen as a dynamic and engaging figure. He brought energy to the royal family's public engagements and was particularly involved in promoting British business and international relations. Yet life as a royal is not without scrutiny. Every action is magnified, every association examined. For Andrew, this would become increasingly significant in the years to come. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Prince Andrew became associated with Jeffrey Epstein, an American financier whose social network would later become infamous. At the time, this friendship was portrayed in the media as a connection to a wealthy and influential individual. However, over the following years, allegations surrounding Epstein's activities began to surface. Public concern grew as the scope of his crimes became known. Andrew's association with Epstein would later place him at the center of intense scrutiny. Questions were raised about judgment, responsibility, and the implications for the monarchy. In public statements, the Duke emphasized his lack of involvement in Epstein's criminal activities. Yet the media and public opinion continued to challenge. The narrative and the controversy persisted. Historian: This was a moment when private actions collided with public accountability. For royals, personal associations are rarely just private. They can reflect upon the entire institution. In November 2019, Prince Andrew participated in a BBC Newsnight interview aimed at addressing public concerns. The interview was widely anticipated as a moment for clarification and transparency. However, the broadcast had the opposite effect. Viewers critiqued body language, phrasing, and the seeming lack of contrition. International media described it as a public relations disaster, and online reactions amplified the scrutiny. Broadcast: The Duke of York faced increased pressure. Titles were suspended, public engagements were paused, and questions about the monarchy's image became unavoidable. This chapter marked a turning point, one where personal actions began to influence institutional perception. Following years of speculation, serious allegations began to emerge regarding Prince Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein. Claims made in court documents suggested that the Duke of York may have been involved in situations that attracted legal scrutiny. While Prince Andrew consistently denied any wrongdoing, the legal implications could not be ignored. For an institution, like the British monarchy, even an unproven accusation carries consequences beyond the individual. It challenges the perception of integrity and public trust. Legal experts noted that the case posed unique challenges. Royal immunity does not grant blanket protection from civil lawsuits, and public interest ensured that every development would be widely reported. The monarchy is a centuries-old institution, but in today's world, transparency and accountability are essential. The Duke's legal troubles were therefore not just personal matters, they became matters of public concern. Many observers have pointed to the 2019 BBC interview as a pivotal moment in the crisis. Intended to clarify and defend his position, the interview instead intensified scrutiny. Analysts noted that Prince Andrew's responses appeared defensive, and the lack of empathy in addressing the alleged victims drew widespread criticism. Social media platforms exploded with commentary, memes, and analysis, a modern amplification of public opinion that previous generations of royals could not have imagined. The interview highlighted the gap between private royal behavior and public expectation. In today's media environment, every word and gesture is dissected, often with viral intensity. In response to the growing controversy, the palace took formal action. Titles, military affiliations, and public duties of the Duke of York were suspended. King Charles III, newly ascending to the throne, faced the delicate task of balancing familial loyalty with institutional responsibility. Public statements emphasized that the suspension was necessary to maintain confidence in the monarchy, while also acknowledging the personal challenges for the Duke. This was a clear message. The institution prioritizes accountability. Even a royal of high standing is subject to scrutiny when public trust is at stake. Did not exist in a vacuum. Public perception shifted rapidly, with opinion polls indicating declining confidence in the monarchy. Younger generations, particularly those active on social media, expressed skepticism and criticism, questioning the relevance and transparency of royal privilege. Institutions survive on public trust. The royal family has long benefited from reverence and tradition, but in the digital age, even minor missteps can become magnified. Andrew's situation illustrates the delicate balance between personal freedom and institutional accountability. Even subtle shifts in public opinion carry long-term implications. From attendance at royal events to charitable donations and engagement with the crown, the repercussions are measurable and significant. International media extensively covered the unfolding story, framing it not merely as a personal controversy, but as a test of monarchy in the modern era. Headlines ranged from analytical assessments to sensational coverage, reflecting global interest in the British royal institution. The Duke's legal and public challenges were interpreted as indicative of systemic pressures on the monarchy. Journalists debated whether the monarchy could maintain its ceremonial and symbolic power while adapting to contemporary expectations. Narrator. While some coverage focused on the alleged missteps, others highlighted the resilience of the monarchy, emphasizing continuity, tradition, and historical perspective. Behind closed doors, advisors, legal experts, and communications teams worked diligently to manage the crisis. The palace emphasized careful messaging, discretion, and measured engagement with the media. Royal PR operates differently than corporate PR. Every statement is weighed for tone, implications, and precedent. The Duke's situation required extraordinary caution to protect the broader institution while addressing public concerns. Narrator. Transparency was balanced with tradition. Every word was considered, for Andrew, for King Charles, and for the monarchy as a whole. The legal challenges, public scrutiny, and media coverage marked a turning point. Prince Andrew's personal and professional standing became inseparable from the perception of the monarchy. The institution that once relied solely on history and tradition now had to navigate a modern landscape dominated by public opinion, social media, and legal accountability. In the next chapter, we will explore the implications for King Charles. Third, the role of the next generation, Princes William and Harry, and the broader question of the monarchy's future in a rapidly changing world.